The number one question that everyone asks when Chong Yue first appeared is Chong Yue better than Mountain? And straight away at the start of the video, I'm going to answer, yes, Chong Yue is stronger than Mountain in so many more situations. This video is going to explain to you how is that so, along with talking about when Mountain is clearly the better option compared to Chong Yue. Alright, first stage to show you guys Chong Yue is going to be on this stage of 7-4. I've brought along the other brawlers as well. Straight away, I want to explain the first talent. It states that 23% chance for normal attacks to increase the damage that Chong Yue deals with the target by 65% for 2.5 seconds. The question at hand is, how do you know if the damage multiplier is being applied? So, the way to do so is watch Chong Yue. Right? If an enemy is receiving this sandy looking effect, it means that they have the damage buff. And when I punch with his skill turned on, notice that Chong Yue gained SP. His second talent reads that Chong Yue recovers 3 SP if he defeats at least one enemy with a skill. So you can use this in order to charge his skill a lot faster. So I'm going to try to put that to good use. Notice that the wolf is coming in. When I feel like the wolf is about to die, I go kaboom, and there you go, get 3 SP. It helps to charge his third skill very fast, which is pretty important. So his third skill reads that he deals 380% attack as physical damage to the target, along with nearby enemies. So enemies within that same tile will also receive the damage. After the skill is used for 5 times, Chong Yue's attack range will increase and he can attack 2 times. The skill will be auto-activated, so you don't have to click on it like what I'm doing here, and he's able to deal damage an extra time. So basically, there's a huge damage multiplier that's going on. So let's try to make it pop up. Alright, nice, this guy has his damage buff. Okay, let's go, kaboom. And there you go. Notice that his skill just popped up, and now it's a lot faster at doing it. And at the same time, that big ability of hitting nearby targets as well, it's helping out so much. Now, his attack range has been expanded to this plus sign, and notice how that is able to help the top lane along with the bottom lane. This is the biggest difference of Chong Yue versus Mountain. The power that Chong Yue is able to deal, and the fact that he has no target limit. If you send like 20 enemies and they're all sitting in the same tile, Chong Yue will hit all 20 enemies. But Mountain can't do that because Mountain can only hit enemies equivalent to his block count. So that is one of the clear-cut differences as to when Chong Yue is good. Also that bigger range, as you can see, Mountain can't help the other lanes. Chong Yue is the one who's doing that. Brawlers inherently have a weakness, however. All the brawlers, except for someone, has a block count of 1. So if there's way too many enemies, like how Chong Yue is trying to help out over here, once there is a swarm, notice that the stage will fail. But the only person that doesn't have a block count of 1 is Mountain. And that is when Mountain is better than Chong Yue. Whenever I do my operator showcases, I always send my operators for rigorous testing to really see how good they are. In this stage, I haven't taken a Chong Yue yet, but you can see that I place a Mountain on the top lane, and he doesn't have any medics together with him. That is again one of the times where Mountain is clearly better than Chong Yue, because Mountain does not need any medic together with him. His second skill gives him the ability to recharge his max HP by 7% per second, which is the biggest max HP regeneration in the game. Like we have Silver Ash in the game, I believe that's 6%, Thorns can only go to 2% or 2.5 depending on his potential. So this is again another differentiator. Now on the bottom part of the map, you can see that I've used Blaze and Zarya, a classic combo of old time Arknights. But notice how Blaze kind of takes very long to grind down the shield guards. You know, it can get very worrisome. My Blaze is a level 80 Blaze. She's clocking 1600 attack, but that's not enough to pierce through the defense of these shield guards, for example. But watch what happens if I use a Chong Yue instead. So now, I'm gonna do the same stage 7-14 from scratch, and this time, I'll place a Chong Yue down here, and notice how there's no more Blaze, no more Mountain. Like, am I very serious? I'm only gonna just use a Chong Yue? Well, let's watch and see. So remember all of the things about his talent, try your best to use his skill tree about when you're about to kill an enemy, so that you really maximize that skill gain. And just one more little pop, kaboom, and look at that! Once you have his skill charged up, Chong Yue is able to assist Zarya's lane and hit on his right. And if there are enemies on any enemies on the left as well, Chong Yue can also, feed a bit of damage. So Zarya is the only healer for Chong Yue at the moment, but it's really more than enough because of the fact that she has big healing. Now, look at Chong Yue against the shield guards, and we all know that those shield guards have very high defense. What in the world is Chong Yue cooking? Because that shield guard is getting decimated. If you remember how you saw it just now when you had Blaze. When I test run Chong Yue and this was what I saw, I instantly knew, holy hell, this guy is going to be straight up better. Mountain could maybe damage the shield guard, but it's also going to be as slow as Blaze. Chong Yue, however, that hits different. So hopefully this gets you guys to understand just how good he is. He's literally solo damaging this stage. Now, Chong Yue's skill tree is a little bit of an art form where you want to make sure that you place him in the most optimal way possible. For example, if you place Chong Yue over here and his skill tree gets activated, then he gets that plus sign range, but that doesn't really help any of the other lanes. You could place him here, again that doesn't really help. Maybe you can place him a little bit more forward so he can deal with enemies that's like coming straight down like this, coming straight down like this. Still not very ideal. So watch where I place Chong Yue. I'm going to place him over here, facing upwards, and then I'm going to place Saria along with a mountain. So the reason that I'm doing this is as such. This stage actually has 3 lanes if you haven't noticed. There's a lane on the top, there's a lane that is right in the middle there, and then another lane that is on the bottom. So notice with this range, I'm helping all the lanes and not just leaving like Chong Yue to deal with only one lane. Unless you know why you're doing that, like why you're only maybe using Chong Yue as a single lane holder. If not, you should always try to optimize the range, just as you see me play over here. Okay, so much talking for Chong Yue's skill tree. What about the other skills that Chong Yue has? So, Chong Yue's skill 1 reads that he's able to deal 290% attack as physical damage to the target. This is a skill rank 7 Chong Yue, by the way. If it's skill M3, then it's going to be 400% attack, which is a very big amount. Because I don't have that amount of attack, I have a lot of buffers that are brought together with me. Anyways, continuing, when at maximum charges, which is 3, my Chong Yue is already fully charged because he was attacking some normal enemies just now, removes all the charges and deals damage for each charge that is removed. So we're gonna see this in action. It's a attack mechanics that's very similar to Mystic casters like Ebonhalls and Iris. So anyways, I'm gonna just use Surtur to damage Emperor's Blade. Anyways, I'm gonna place an Arc over there. Arc is also gonna be someone to help me to buff. Alright, let me just turn Arc on now. Let's remove that. Okay, I'm gonna feed Chong Yue the Scouter buff. Let's feed him an extra attack. I have a bit of Suzhuan slow. And I'm waiting for Chong Yue to just hit him. Notice there's a sand effect. Release the charges. What just happened? My man vanished! That's the power of his skill 1. Now when you use Chong Yue's skill 2, you only use Chong Yue's skill 2 if for whatever reason you cannot charge his skill 3, because his default skill is always his skill 3. But for example, in this stage when I place Chong Yue over here, I don't have any enemies that I can use to bump up his ability, so I'm going to use skill 2 instead. Now his skill 2 reads that he deals 350% attack as physical damage up to 4 enemies and causes the targets affected by talent 1, that is those that have the Sandy effect, to levitate, and then remove the levitate all enemies who are currently in the air, and activates his talent 1 with 100% chance. So that means they can be re-levitated again if you want to do that. And he's able to deal 480% attack as physical damage when they get thrown back down. So it's a very complicated skill, but it's very good when you're using it together with other levitating operators. So, I need to wait for the Sandy effect. Only when the Sandy effect takes place can I actually throw him up in the air and levitate him like that. Now, I'm gonna use Kanipalat to levitate this guy, and towards the end of Kanipalat's skill, or when this guy gets thrown down, I just use Chong Yue's skill again. So a bit bad timing just now, we're gonna do it a little bit better here. You can see it's a bit funky to actually use this skill, and we'll try to do it onto this guy. So the Sandy effect is applied, let's lift him up, he's got the Sandy effect again. So one of the big problems is that the Sandy effect only lasts for 2.5 seconds. So if I really want to put it to use, I'll levitate him, make sure the Sandy effect is still there, throw him back down, and that will give him a very big damage, just as you see. So I'm not a fan of this skill just because of how difficult it is to use it, but at least I get to show you guys how it actually works in a stage like this. Shit, there's a diver that's going past! Help! So in conclusion, is Chong Yue better than Mountain? I think you guys already know the answer by now. When looking at Chong Yue's skill 3, which is the bread and butter skill, there's a big range, it has a very high attack ceiling, and the ability to attack multiple enemies at a time is an insane hit all around, which are things that Mountain doesn't really offer. Well, Mountain technically does offer it if you compare Mountain skill 3 with Chong Yue skill 3, because it's actually very similar. The only issue with Mountain skill 3 is that that is not an infinite skill like Chong Yue's one that you see over here. But nonetheless, Mountain does have certain things that's better than Chong Yue. Just as you see over here, Chong Yue's health is decreasing, and that's not like Mountain skill 2 where it allows him to heal. So you might have to feed a medic or a healing defender here and then for the sake of Chong Yue to stay alive in the stage. But who's to say that you can't use both Chong Yue and Mountain together in the same stage? Am I right? Anyways, hope you have learned a lot about Chong Yue in this video, and I shall end it off by showing to you how Chong Yue can technically solo the stage if it weren't for the medic. Hope you've enjoyed. See you soon. Take care. Bye bye.